This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But it's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI's not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. Their clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. They offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions that isn't one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will find that their mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the healthcare they deserve. Because they believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It is the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
Yay Networks.
I'm Molly Kimball. Welcome to Fueled, a wellness and nutrition podcast. I'm a registered dietitian and nutrition journalist with a passion to help people live their strongest, healthiest life possible. In my weekly TV segments and columns, there's a limited amount of time and space to cover everything, but there's so much more to share. This podcast is my opportunity to dive deeper into the topics you want to know about. Y'all know I love a good behind the brand story. So these products that we see on shelves that we're using in our daily lives, what was the backstory? How did it get started? How did it get to where it is? And this week's guest is Rich Hanley. He is the founder of Hanley's Foods, which makes products like salad dressings. They make all types of different salad fixins, basically, as they say, but these incredible salad dressings that are very clean label, simple ingredients, things that we could have in our kitchen. I love them nutritionally. It's what we keep in our kitchen. Our Eat Fit team, our Oxnard Eat Fit team that works with restaurants and food service outlets of all types, Hanley's is a product that we're often recommending to our partners because of those exact reasons. The clean label, simple ingredients, the moderate, really low sodium. Most of them have no added sugar. I mean, just really incredible products. And over the years, it's been just under 10 years now, I've seen Hanley's grow and grow and grow. They are incredibly generous in the community, incredibly nutrition minded as well. So I am really excited for y'all to hear from Rich Hanley today with their behind the brand story. So as you'll hear, they got their start about almost 10 years ago at the Red Stick Farmers Market in Baton Rouge. They're now in over 2,000 stores across the southeastern United States. I find their story inspiring. I think if you are just for the consumer listening and you're just interested in how do these products get to market, I think that you're really going to enjoy listening to this. If you have an idea for a product and you're looking to how would you actually get it into shelves, get it into stores, I think you'll also benefit from hearing Rich, and then just their passion about wellness, about nutrition, and hearing how they layer that into their brand and all that they do. So with that, welcome, Rich. I'm excited to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks so much. Glad to be here. Very happy to share our story and kind of how we got started.
Every time you and I talk, there's so much that we talk about. I'm fascinated with the brand, with Hanley's and how you guys created it and what y'all are doing. Also, just there's so much synergy between what y'all do, your passion for wellness, for just pure ingredients, and what we do, what I do with nutrition, but also what our team does, our Oxnard Eat Fit team. So even before you and I, as we sat down to do this podcast, y'all listening, or to our listeners, we've been sitting here for 30 minutes. We're
just rambling.
Right. There's so much else that we're talking about. We're like, okay, let's focus. So Hanley's is a brand of mostly salad dressings. You have other products that we'll talk about, but it is something that when you see it on shelves, it looks like it is, this giant brand. Y'all are in Costco, y'all are in all these stores. But this is a small family-owned, family-run brand. So for this episode, for Behind the Brand, that's what we're here for. I want to hear and share with our listeners the story behind it, how you built it, how you got here.
Yeah. And so we like to say it's natural salad fixins with the taste of Louisiana, right? Because fixins, you have your dressings, your toppings, all kinds of stuff. So that's the area that we're focusing on is salad fixins.
And with us, with me personally, my go-to for our house, for what's in our fridge, if we're, bringing a salad somewhere, I'm going to have your products. I've got Hanley's in our pantry as backup, the one that I have opened, those are in our fridge. But our Eat Fit team, we have a lot of restaurants that, and because we'll talk about this too, but you have the bottle dressings in stores, but you also have the food service side. So a lot of our Eat Fit restaurants offer your salad dressings, and we encourage it because when you look at the ingredients, it is all things that you could have conceivably in your kitchen. There's nothing wacky. There's nothing weird in there. And the sodium's in check, the sugar's in check. So almost all of the products y'all have are Eat Fit approved. So there's just so much synergy there. And so there's a lot personally that I love about Hanley's, and then from our work that we do out in the community. So with that, tell us how this got started. So I guess can you share with our listeners the types of dressings and then the other products in the salad fixins category?
Okay. The types of dressings. So it's mainly how it started. We'll start with sensation.
Yeah.
That it's a Romano cheese, lemon, garlic dressing that really just, it's delicious. And I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, thinking you had ranch, Italian, and sensation. I didn't realize sensation was this local regional thing. So one day I'm at the grocery store grabbing some ingredients to make a sensation. I go wandering down the salad dressing aisle and I see, Kraft and all these other brands, and there is no sensation.
And for our listeners, like if you live in Baton Rouge, you're like, yeah, sensation salad, of course. I'm from Baton Rouge and I knew exactly what it was. My dad was in the restaurant business. I believe that, there was a place called Soup or Salad, like Super Salad. And I think that they may have created the sensation dressing.
From my history or my research, it was a place on Government Street called Bob and Jake's.
Okay.
They started it back in the 60s, and it was just their house salad. And the locals kind of dubbed it as a sensation salad. It was sensational, that sensational house salad. And so they eventually renamed it to Sensation Salad, and it became very popular. Emeril Lagasse would write about it, John Besh, and other restaurants would carry a sensation, or put it on the menu. And so that's kind of the origins of how it got started.
And it lives strongly in Baton Rouge. It started, those guys that you talked about, and those guys and girls that you talked about are talking about it, covering it. But people outside of Baton Rouge, a lot of times they just don't know. And so it's one of my favorite salad dressings. So you're going in there to make it, or to get the ingredients to make it. You realize there's nothing here like this.
So I run home. Very happily dart out the door, and I start talking to my wife Kate about it, and we just had this idea to try to make a few variations. So naturally, like most ideas in Louisiana, we threw a salad party, and we had friends and people come over and pick different variations of this dressing, some with gorgonzola cheese, some with Parmesan, some with Romano, different types of vinegars, different recipes that we had. We just laid it all on the table and to get some initial feedback. And then we took the one that we thought and everyone thought was the best to the farmers market. And it was a hit.
So when you are going to buy the salad dressing, you're like, they don't have it. Okay, I'm going to get the ingredients. How long between that of just being like, there isn't something like this on the shelf, and you and your wife, whose name is Kate, is you and Kate talking about, let's do this and let's start making these to bring to the salad market? How long of a gap there? Like, was this kind of marinating?
That was like a 5-month gap. And it was that day that I got home and we made it and we were having dinner and we talked about it. And we're like, let's give this a shot. So once we had the feedback of the farmer's market, which we were able to do that in the next month, we went all in.
Yeah.
I put a date in the calendar. I quit my day job. I moved in with my parents. We saved up some money, and we went all in with like $800 to start this company. And
now you're in the Hanley's dressings are in over 2,000 stores.
Over 2,000 stores, and that's just knocking door to door with a smile and a bottle of dressing, and just naturally and organically growing it out.
And tell us the year this was about.
This was in 2012.
Yeah, that was right as we were starting Eat Fit. And so as we were at some of the initial expos and Real Small Things, I remember meeting y'all and you're like knocking with a bottle of dressing and a smile.
Exactly
It was
how it's done.
exactly that. And so now it's Costco, Walmart, Whole Foods, Fresh Market, Rouse's. You're in more than 17 states.
Yeah. 17 states in the southeastern United States.
That's incredible. Congratulations. That's tremendous.
Thank you.
And you're in, like we just said, all those stores, but you also said that like the independent stores, like here in New Orleans, the Bromart, Langenstein's, like those are kind of like your Roberts. Those are some of your like.
I want to take a side note about what's unique here. And it's very rare from any other city in the U.S. So if we were in Chicago or LA or New York or other places, the local grocery store is Kroger, is Safeway, Whole Foods, Target, Walmart. Those are very hard to get into. Here, it's what's unique here. It's a lot of our areas is around these independently owned grocery stores that would love to have your product. So when you take that and the combination of the resources available here, like there's LSU Ag Center Food Incubator. That's where we got started. That's
which we'll talk a little bit more about that.
It's an FDA-approved facility for us to make and mix our products, as well as having food scientists to help educate us of how it needs to be shelf stable, the processes we have to go through. It's like a perfect match made for a food company. And so I think in the next 10, 20 years, you're going to see a massive spike in South Louisiana and the New Orleans and Baton Rouge area on food startups, because we have all the right ingredients. You have the commercial kitchen, and then you have the retailers, which would love to carry and try a local product. And it's not that easy. I like to say that if I was in any other city, I don't think I would have this company because of our starts and how we bootstrapped it.
There's also a lot of support within the local brands here. So I know that you are friends also with a lot of the owners of these other companies that have done startups. There's, Big Easy Bucha, there's all these others, and y'all are all very generous with your time. You're very generous in supporting each other, and then also new brands that are starting and mentoring them and kind of sharing your experience. So
yeah, even with Billy with Iconic,
right.
I've been at his place when he got started off Canal Street. It's a great community that everyone sticks together. I talked with other food entrepreneurs several times every week, and that's what helps everyone grow.
So I think it's the stores, it's the local stores who are open to carrying this. It's the resources like the LSU incubator, which I want to dig into a little bit more because that was key for y'all. And then it's you and people like you who are these business owners who you're so passionate about it, but you're also so generous, and I think all of that shows. And like you said, it's this perfect marriage of all these resources that allows us to have,
this gumbo.
Right. Yeah, it's true. So you and Kate are schlepping your sensation dressing to the farmer's market, and you're like, all right, so this is great. We had really good feedback. You're like, okay, people like this. You're all in with this. How do you go from there to the 2,000 stores?
So yeah, obviously it was overnight. I'm kidding. No, it's exactly what I was talking about earlier. It's just kind of door-to-door knocking. So we did a cool thing where at the market, we would tell our customers, hey, look, if you really like this, do me a favor. Take the empty bottle to your favorite grocery store and ask them to carry it.
That's a great idea.
And so literally our first year, I had Whole Foods, the buyer of Whole Foods, coming up to me saying, look, your customers are sending and mailing and bringing us like dozens of bottles of salad, empty salad. What are you doing? What is this?
You're cluttering our space.
Can we talk about possibly carrying this in our stores? And I was shocked. So we were in at the time about like 20 stores, and then Whole Foods came, and that was kind of our first big account. And simply by us asking people to bring empty bottles.
And Whole Foods has a lot of I don't want to say hoops, but it is hoops. There's a lot of steps to get into Whole Foods that probably made you tighten your game.
They're absolutely right. There's a lot of, procedures and audits and things that you have to follow to be compliant, which is good because you need to have those things anyway. So they really pushed you to do it. Whereas a lot of your local stores, they just want a barcode, make sure it scans at the register and a price. So that helped structure you. And as big as Whole Foods is, they're actually very easy to work with. So they were our first kind of major customer that we got started with. And they're very open to food companies, to startups, to new and unique things.
So in order to have it bottled, well, so when you were at the farmer's market, was it in bottles? What kind of format, what was it in that y'all were selling it in?
It was in some kind of bottle. Yeah, it was. But yeah, it was in a bottle very similar. It was a glass bottle. We were hand labeling it and kind of making it on our kitchen. So there's a cottage law in the state of Louisiana, which is in several other states as well. Whereas if you're under, I think, $500,000, which when you're starting up, you are, that it's if you're only going to so many points of distribution, which we just had one, the farmers market, that you can make it in your home. It's a cottage law. Obviously, you have to have all the right procedures in order to do that, but you don't have to be in
a commercial
facility.
kitchen, a commercial space. So then the LSU Ag Center Food Incubator. Explain to us, because some people may be familiar with this. I think many aren't. So talk to us about what this is, kind of how that whole process looks.
Okay, so yeah, the food incubator is great. It's where we got started, and basically they help new food companies do check the right boxes. So they have nutritional ingredient sourcing, all the recall plans that you have to have. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. To be honest, they've been a tremendous resource for us in starting up.
And this is part of the LSU. It's on campus at the university.
On campus, yeah. We could throw a rock to Tiger Stadium. We work with a lot of students that come in and out during class during the school season. So it's directly on campus. It's a little hard for parking, but it's convenient.
And so brands can bring their product there. And if you have been making, it could be a barbecue sauce or a spice blend or something like this in your own space and you want to scale it up, they work with brands to do this. Is there a fee? What does that look like?
Yeah, they have I think initial startup fee, and then it's per hour. It's about $25 to $30 an hour. And so you rent out about 4 hours and you have access to basically kind of like a kitchen, right? Stainless steel, a lot of decent equipment, and a place, a start, to get started. And then, eventually over time, we started buying all of our own equipment and bringing it in. And now we're at a point where we're just trying to get a building to move that equipment into, and so we can, scale and move up.
So graduating from the food incubator to your own facility is the plan. So inside of the food incubator, they work with you to, I would imagine, standardize the recipe. In some cases, it might be scaling it up, helping to determine the nutrition facts, how to create your label, how to put the ingredients properly, all the proper branding that would need to go onto the package there. And then what about the bottling? Do they have like a bottling facility there, or how do you do that in volume there?
So they do. Starting off, it was just, a big container and a pitcher.
Right.
And then eventually we started working with they have larger kettles, like a 50-gallon kettle and then a 100-gallon kettle.
Did they already have those?
At the time, no. They had about a 60-gallon kettle that we started with, and now they have I think it's a 100-gallon kettle and like a 200-gallon kettle, and they have 2 bottling lines to fill bottles.
And did they have those when you started?
No.
Okay. So then, did they bring them in because of you or because of other brands?
We were like their first. We were their first tenant, so we were kind of like their first one, and so we did a lot of. We worked with them to help them try to get more grant money, because this is a grant-funded program to help boost economics, in the state.
And almost, I would imagine, as you were growing and your needs were increasing, it almost helped them to see what they needed.
It was a win-win.
Next. Yeah, that's really cool. Like, they're growing, they're learning, and they're helping to see, well, what are the resources that Hanley needs, and then they're going to need that for their other
we were used to being the guinea pig. Anything to help us get to the next level, to help us make our product, we were all for.
That's really, really cool. It's probably going to be a little bit bittersweet to separate and go into.
It will be, yeah. But it's we've really worn out our welcome,
right?
And we are bursting out of the seams, and we're taking up all the days. There's about, I think, 70 new companies that's trying to come in.
Wow!
And when we're occupying like 80% of the time,
you really are wearing your welcome out. That's true. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're not. They're probably really grateful for the success that you're having and the visibility that you bring to them. But in all fairness. Yeah.
And the easier route, and we've tried it literally about 10 times, is to go with the co-packer. So a co-packer is a contract manufacturer where you're like, hey, look, here's our recipe. Here's how you make it. what's your minimums, and what's the cost structure for us to have you make it for us. And we've tried doing that with several co-packers, and our products are unique and different. And in order for you to stick out on the shelf, you want to be unique and different.
Right.
But no contract manufacturer really wants to be unique and different. So we had trouble with the packaging. We had trouble with the ingredients. All of our products are made a little bit complex. Like our mustard, we actually ferment our mustard seeds for 48 hours. Then we make a paste. Then we make a dressing. No.
And they're trying
no
to
co-packer is going to do that. They're like, look, just use the pre-made mustard. That's all we have.
Here's
Sorry.
the corner you can cut.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. And our strawberry, we have, I think it's, 80-90% of it is actual strawberries. They want us to use, watered down flavorings and natural flavors, and it's just not a strawberry. We want strawberries.
How did the branding, what are the shortcuts that they would want to change on the branding? Because we have the bottles spread out in front of us right now with all the different varieties, and it's your bottle. It has kind of a circle label on the front, a circle label on the back. Is that something that even the co-packer would want to change, that or the shape?
Yeah. Pro tip, anyone that wants to start a food company, go with a rounded bottle. They are far easier to manufacture and way more co-packers out there with the rounded bottle. Everyone wanted us to switch. And it says, all right, so two things. One, sensation is not a popular style when you go outside the state, right? So if you're in California, you may not know what a sensation is. If I put it in a round barbecue sauce bottle, that's like, no offense, Brianna's. It's that round circle bottle. You don't know what it is. It could be marinade, it could be barbecue sauce, but this bottle, you could cover it up, the label, and hey, that's a salad dressing.
Right.
So I was very particular on the shape of the bottle, how it had to look, whereas a lot of the co-packers did not do that.
Right.
It requires, it's called like a pressure sensitive labeling that has to hit each side at the same time, whereas your rounded bottles, it just sticks out a label and they roll on. It's a lot faster, a lot cheaper, a lot easier. So that was one of the problems that we had with that.
So compromises that y'all weren't willing to make to go the co-packer route. And so now it's time, you're starting to identify space where you'll be building out this facility. Mm-hmm. The branding, speaking of, is really cool. And the label design, everything about the website, everything that you guys have that is, whether it's print materials, digital, just looks incredible. How did the branding come about? What did that look like?
So that was my day job. My day job, I was an art director for an ad agency, and I loved it. I love creating. I love art. I like staying up late with a glass of wine, coming up with all kinds of crazy ideas. You can ask my wife. I have like a vision board of like the next 50 products. Like, she thinks I'm nuts. But I love it. It's what I like to do. So I'm a designer kind of by trade, and nothing is more rewarding to actually work on your own brand.
So you knew that process through and through. So the design, the branding, the label is all yours.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So that was kind of your background coming into this, and so it seemed like a really natural fit. What about Kate? Because Kate is full-time with Hanley's. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's full-time. She was in nursing and physical therapy and like a personal trainer, and she still does the personal training. But she's the taste tester. I'm a trash can. Like, whatever's left over, I'll eat. It's everything tastes good. I'm okay. She has a palate that is just, she could like pick out like a mustard and just a mustard powder that only has like 1% in it. It's crazy. So everything goes past her as far as like taste test goes.
To be sure that everything is just perfectly refined to
right.
The
so
exact
she's
specs.
crucial on like the taste testing. And whereas, I come up with the wild, crazy ideas, put on a really cool label, and it has to check the box where the taste has to be the best on the market. So that's another thing. We don't want to be a number 3 player. We want to be a number 1 or a number 2. The number 1 selling in the category. That's the goal.
Does she taste most of them as they're about to be bottled? Like, because there is variation in the ingredients, because the ingredients you're using are so fresh, and there's natural variation in what the rain may have been or things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we taste test every product before. I mean, she's not there every run, but and it's funny because bigger manufacturers have like this digital tongue that's like $2,000 and it highlights all these, variables on taste, whereas we're we just stick our finger in,
Right,
yeah,
that's
this tastes good.
hilarious.
This is
Yeah.
it. Perfect. Great job.
You're bringing home like a little
Yeah.
like salad dressing cup for Kate. Here's what we bottled today. Make sure, right?
Exactly. So before we fill it, we look at taste, texture, and color. Is anything off? Is all those, we check all those boxes. And if everything's a go, then we continue to start filling them.
So part of the reason, there's many reasons that I love Hanley's, of course, you know that. And we talked about the fact that it's in the stores. It's in more than 2,000 stores in the, Southeast U.S. in regular bottle that we would keep in our kitchen. And then it's also available food service. And is it 1 gallon bags for the food service?
Half gallon bags,
Half gallon.
right.
And if you've ever like been in the back of a kitchen, like a commercial, like a restaurant kitchen, and you see their mayonnaise or their salad dressing or just their ranch, it's these big gallon tubs. And
Exactly.
they're like, it's the type of thing where you can't scrape that last bit out of it.
It sucks.
Oh.
For those of you that have actually worked in a restaurant and have to go through that, you know exactly what we're talking about.
It's up to your elbow.
It is. It's like all in your wrist, and you have to dig
Yes.
around with the spatula, getting everything out, because obviously, the boss is pushing you to get every last ounce
Not waste
out.
anything.
Zero waste, and then it takes up all the trash can space. We have these. So I thought about that when there's a few restaurants that wanted our product. We looked high and low to find the perfect container to put it in, and I found these pouches. It's these half-gallon stand-up pouches where you could just pipe it right out. Caterers love it because if they line up salads, you could just pipe the dressing, boom, 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 right out the bag.
So the comparison I'm going to give is not a great one. So sorry for in advance, but like a Capri Sun packet. How a Capri
Exactly.
Sun packet it's a pouch, but it stands up on its own. So if you imagine that, it's clear, so you can still see the color of the dressing inside of it. And then it has a pour spout with a resealable like screw cap on it. So you don't have to cut it and then it's open forever. Like you can still open and close it with the screw cap, just like what's on a lot of milk cartons or something
Exactly.
like that. And what I like about it is, number one, all the ingredients in it are just so pure, simple, clean ingredients. And there's no waste because with that pouch, you squeeze it. There's none of that. And it's priced at a really competitive price point for wholesale distribution. And so to me, for any restaurants who are listening, I can't understand why any restaurant would do just regular bottled generic dressing when there's this option. So if you're like, well, where would I find it? Like reach out to me, because like this is something that when we're working with our restaurants, salad dressing is the limiting factor. And even if
There's not a lot of good options out there.
The salad could be amazing. They could have the best seared tuna, the best other ingredients. They've got avocado. They're not
soak it with
overloaded.
Kraft Italian,
Oh my gosh.
water and sugar.
Even when you think it's a better dressing, like if you're like, oh, well, it's the balsamic or what, so many of them, like corn syrup's the first ingredient. It's the sugar and the salt in these that is just wild. Or all the ingredients that are just some like kind of wacky ingredients that you're like trying to eat healthy, so you're doing a salad, yet it's this. So all of these reasons.
How ironic is that, though? Think about it.
It's
The majority of the salad dressings in restaurants are salad. It has the perception of being healthy and good for you, but yet the majority of the ones in restaurants use these, high fructose corn syrup, sodium benzoate type, preservative full dressings on top of it.
It's
ironic.
Crazy. And I would say if you're looking at a restaurant menu and you see that, you look down your salads and you get to choose your dressing and they kind of list them. If you see like ranch, balsamic, honey mustard, Italian, you can pretty much bet when it's just kind of those standard ones, maybe they're making their own from scratch. Maybe it's a good quality, but usually it's going to be the Cisco brand. And you could basically compare Cisco to just kind of being the generic. And it's just the same old. And the sodium and the sugar is just so high. So we think that I think every restaurant should have it. So part of the reason that I'm like, such a fan of the product is the priorities. And you were telling me before we did this podcast, y'all have R&D, research and development priorities. And you said they're in this specific order: flavor and health and cost. So you're putting flavor tops, and so I want to kind of go through that, but health, the nutrition.
Definitely second.
Which is fantastic. And then you've got cost after that. So let's kind of talk through those when we're talking about, I guess as you're thinking about the research and development and new products, What does that look like in terms of flavor health, as the things that you keep in mind?
Yeah, so let's look at our Caesar. We've had a Caesar, and it's been a generic Caesar that we've had only for restaurants. It wasn't available in the retail bottle. So our Caesar had what a traditional Caesar always has. It has anchovies in it. We use eggs to make it creamy. So our egg yolks are whole eggs. So when we wanted to make one, we weren't just going to put the same one that we make for the restaurants on retail shelves. So when we wanted to make a Caesar, we said, hey, how can we make this better? And it was just the weirdest thing, using eggs just to make an emulsion is kind of weird. So what are some other ways you can do it? Well, there's chickpeas like aquafaba, right? So that's kind of what we use to make the base of our creamier products, and it's a lot healthier.
So is it the
zero cholesterol
chickpeas pureed, or is it the chickpea liquid?
It's actually a chickpea protein and some special proprietary seasonings that we use to make it have that frothy egg yolk characteristics.
So the word that Rich said was aquafaba, and aquafaba is the liquid. So if
Bean
you
water.
have like the chickpea water. So if you got your canned chickpeas, you drain the water, or I guess if you cook them and then you drain the water, that water is called aquafaba. That liquid is called aquafaba, and you can actually use it in place of egg whites. Like you can make a meringue out of it. Like so, aquafaba, that chickpea liquid, can be used as an egg white replacer. So y'all were like, okay, we're going to use this in our Caesar instead of the eggs.
And it's one of the only ones in the market that are made that way. And another thing is the anchovies. I didn't like the idea of grinding up. We have very big blenders. I didn't like the idea of just grinding up, fresh fish and we can't really, we have, so in order to be classified as, FDA, not USDA, which is meat, you can't have more than 2% of any meat product in your product. So the idea of using any kind of proteins, animal sources was interesting. So we used capers, and capers have that nice, that sharpy, salty taste that you want in anchovies. And it was just experimenting. It was just me on my kitchen table. I'm going to take that piece of granite with me everywhere I go because that's my lucky granite. And I was just experimenting with different things, and it came out so good and so amazing. I've had, I've had good chefs tell me that they love the strong anchovy flavor in our Caesar. I'm like, oh, that's funny. There is none.
Right.
But so it still has all in, and so that's what we focused on flavor first, and so we nailed it with that one. And then, for example, our Caesar, I brought it over to our nutritional calculator. I saw that it was extremely high in salt. That's because I used the capers, and so we had to start cutting down I just cut down basically our sea salt where it was an acceptable level. And then we go back, make sure everything tastes good. And I try to look at sugar, salt, fat. There is no sugar. And we just want to make sure that we're making not only the best tasting, but the best one for you. All of my family uses our products, and I want to be proud to put something on the table for my kids.
But I think that step is tremendous, because a lot would say, okay, this is great. We nailed it. Let's bottle it, without first looking to see what is the nutritionals, and then how can I dial that back to what would still be considered a really nice range and isn't eye-watering to someone who's going to be mindful of that. And so pretty much there's almost the entire line, the salt, the sugar is right in line. And there's just nothing in these ingredients that we were, especially from the Eat Fit side, that we're like, there's a but here. There isn't. I mean, they're just incredible.
Thank you.
So the Caesar, making it, I noticed that on the front, y'all don't say vegan. At least I don't think that you say it, and it's not at all on the front. Was there a reason y'all decided not to?
Yeah, I've learned that there's two people who look at labels. There's people like us, and we always look at the back, no matter what the front says. It could say vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free all day. We're going to flip it over and read the ingredients and read the back. And then there's the people like my mom. And my mom just looks at something, and if it looks good and looks pretty, she'll buy it. That's the idea behind it.
Yeah.
Because so on the front, if you look at it, we always try to highlight what makes it unique and different. All right. The front says made with ancient Roman capers. Oh, that's
right.
Cool. Let me check this out. That's a pretty label. And
are they Roman?
They are Roman. So it's actually from Turkey, which Turkey is ancient Rome. Hence,
oh, that's cool.
Roman
because also when you're thinking Caesar and ancient Roman. Yeah.
Right. I love ancient Rome. And so, I designed all the whatever it's called on it, the Roman design prints on it.
It looks like is it like the leaf that would be like
right, that's all the way around it.
The
Caesar's
the part that goes, we're like gesturing with our hands,
which
but
you
it's
can't see.
Right, the part that goes around your head, like the
crown, whatever.
the crown of leaves.
Right.
I'm like the leaf crown. Yes.
And so you and I would flip it over, and yeah, it's vegan, dairy-free, sugar-free, gluten-free, which I learned gluten-free was unique in Caesar. A lot of people use soy sauce, which I didn't. And then I started doing. I went on a massive soy sauce hunt and research, and I discovered that the majority of soy sauce uses wheat,
right,
strictly for a filler, just to stretch it out. Not like true soy sauce that's been around for 3,000 years does not have wheat. And I found that tamari is the most flavorful, the most complex, the most delicious soy sauce out there. And it's obviously the most expensive, but it's gluten-free, and it just tastes better. So that's what we use. We use a tamari instead of a soy sauce, and it kind of achieves the same level of flavor. And so we can check that gluten-free box, which is another win.
Right. So. Yeah. So no, I think that makes sense. And then the person who's looking for the vegan option, a lot of times the vegan community there's websites, there's different things where there's content that's getting shared anyway. So, hey, what's the best vegan Caesar? And those things kind of get passed along there.
They
so
do.
If someone is looking for that vegan option, chances are they're
going to find it.
Yeah.
And if it's the other way around, if it's my mom that's at the store and it says vegan, she's like, "Oh, that's too healthy. I can't have
Your
it.
dad's
It's going
not
to taste
gonna
like
want
crap."
that. Yeah.
So that's why we don't like it to have. That's why we don't put those kind of labels on the front, because people like us always read the back, no matter what the front says.
Right. And the messaging is going to get through the different platforms that we follow, or kind of word of mouth. Hey, you've got to try this. And then for just the consumer that just wants it to taste good, it's there. Mm-hmm. Walk us through some of the others. And because to me, it's fascinating. Like I know and love the Caesar. I didn't know that detail about it, and then with the strawberry, you said it's like 90% just strawberries.
And ironically, everyone's like, "Oh, look, it's fat free." Like we didn't even know it was like, I think it's basically low fat, or 0.5 grams of fat per 2 tablespoons and 25 calories. So it's that when you use whole foods like that, it becomes nutrient dense as a byproduct.
Was that the second dressing I made after the Sensation? Okay.
And the cool thing, the reason why Sensation was the second, strawberry was our second, is because when we were at the farmer's market selling our Sensation, we would have farmers come up to us, during strawberry season, handing our family. That's the thing that's cool about the farmer's market. It's a community as well.
Right.
And everyone just like, if you go walking around, everyone just, it's a sharing community.
Yes.
They give you a bunch of stuff and you give them a bunch of stuff. It's fun. We love it. So naturally, we had flax and flax of strawberries that was left over from, the farmer. And I would make a strawberry vinaigrette. And so that's why that was kind of our second one. And then on from there, we just started finding what's unique and different that has that kind of taste of Louisiana.
Tell me about the avocado vinaigrette. How did that come about?
So that was our third one. And yeah, that was, it was just us in the kitchen messing around. My wife loved to make a salad. It was a cucumber avocado salad with onions. And it was funny because she was making it one day and she was drinking the salad bowl, the juice at the bottom. And she goes, "If you could bottle this, this would be a good dressing."
And she's like, a lot of times we would say that, "Man, if you could bottle this." And she's like, "No, Rich, seriously?
Yeah.
If you could bottle this."
I'm like, you don't tell me that kind of stuff.
Right.
I go next day on the kitchen table. I got the granite, I got the headphones on. I'm making all kinds of different avocado versions. And so that's how that one got started, because it was supposed to resemble the juice at the bottom of a really good salad.
That's really, and it is.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
It's a good vinaigrette. And there's a lot of avocado oil products on the market, but from our research, there isn't no shelf-stable avocado dressing out there.
I haven't seen it.
We're kind of unique and different in that category too.
And I like that you pointed that out, shelf stable. So if you're looking for these in stores, they're not in the refrigerated section. A lot of times the ones with the more simple ingredients are in the fridge, but these are shelf stable, which is great.
And that's another challenge. So after you check all the right boxes, then it's how do you preserve it? Do you use a lot of chemicals? And so we have bent over backwards on research, and we do research every day to make our products better and better and better. But so without giving away too much away, we have secret ways of making our products where we don't have to add high preservatives to them, as well as keeping them in the refrigerator.
Yeah, no, I love it. Tell me about the mustard, the sweet Creole mustard. Is the sweet Creole mustard the one? Let's see. No, the Creole Ranch, I believe, is the one that, oh my gosh, when people have this one, they are like, it is like what people, when the Creole Ranch, it is, I might have said sweet Creole Ranch, but it's Creole Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
It is like what people want to dip their, like, almost like a buffalo
sauce. Yeah. It kind of has that, similar kind of taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, so same thing. Instead of using eggs, we use our house-made aquafaba,
Right.
we call Fabia. And so that's kind of the base of it. And we work with local companies like the Louisiana Pepper Exchange,
Yeah.
which I didn't realize is the largest exporter of cayenne peppers in the U.S.
They're a great company.
They're in our backyard. And so we get this amazing cayenne pepper mash that we use to kind of add a unique flavor to it that kind of makes it different on the market. So we start with making a really good ranch and incorporate all kinds of different seasonings and spices to make it.
And then the sweet Creole mustard, y'all are making your own. You're grinding your own mustard seed?
Fermenting and grinding our own mustard seeds, which
I
is,
guess
it's
grinding
fun.
the own mustard seed isn't the big part. It's the fermentation of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will almost guarantee you never to be able to go to a
Right.
co-packer because it's those kind of things.
What's the reason that you decided to do that? You couldn't find that
So
elsewhere?
if you ever make a, let's say like a honey mustard vinaigrette, and the reason why we didn't go honey mustard is because we wanted to kind of
Be different.
make it different and check the box to, some vegans don't like honey in it.
Right.
So, and plus it would actually kind of clump up in the fridge. So it didn't have a good texture over time in the fridge. But the reason we ended up fermenting our own, whenever you use prepared mustard, it has a chalkiness to it that comes out with the vinegar, and it's just not pleasant. I mean, you can barely taste it at the end of like your palate, but
Kate can taste it.
Kate nails it. She goes, "What's that chalkiness?" I'm like, I don't. What are you talking about? And I try it 6 times. I'm like, oh, that. I don't know. And I look at all my ingredients. I'm like, what's causing this? So just by playing around in the kitchen, I ended up making my own mustard, and it tastes 10 times better. I'm like, oh, this is how we're doing it.
Yes.
And that's how we've done it ever since.
Wow. And what's the most recent? Is the garlic and red wine the most recent?
The garlic and red wine, right? And the garlic and the Caesar are our latest additions to retail. The garlic we came out with Black Friday last year, and Caesar we actually just came out with last month. So it's a newer product as well.
Do you have other varieties that are coming out? The whole time we've been talking,
many.
I'm trying to listen to everything you're saying. I'm also thinking, what flavor? Like, I want to be like Kate. I want to be like, I would like something like this.
So maybe like some secret upcoming flavors.
Yeah. I'd like to take a minute to share about Nutrafol, sponsor for this week's episode. The nutrients in Nutrafol supplements support healthy hair growth from within by targeting the 5 root causes of thinning: stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, and metabolism. Nutrafol is a physician-formulated nutritional supplement that's made with potent botanicals. So no matter your stage in life, Nutrafol has a solution. Nutrafol offers 2 targeted formulas for women that are clinically shown to improve hair growth and thickness through all stages of life. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code FUELED to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com. That's spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code FUELED. Yeah, so the whole time you've been talking, I'm like hearing what you're saying, but my mind is also like racing of what are some of the other flavors that I would love. But I feel like the flavors that I think that I would want to have, you've already created in these. But then like, okay, what else would I want to have? Do y'all ever like crowdsource for ideas? Like, hey, tell us what you want.
Yeah. So if you ever have a great idea, let me know.
Yes.
We'll go to work quick on it.
If there's a need, if there's a gap in something that we're not finding.
I live in grocery store aisles, which is very unusual and weird and awkward. But I always see, like, I'm the guy who's looking to see how far back are products on the shelf. If there's not a lot of back stock, that means it's moving quick, especially if you go on a Sunday or a Saturday. you could really see how
You
much
mean of
people are
other
buying.
brands?
Yes. And so you can see what's popular. You can see what people like. You can see what's unique and different.
They're like, there's a guy with like his face in the
This
shelves because
weirdo.
you're peeking
I think
behind
he's
everything.
this homeless guy. He won't
Right.
leave.
Right. That's hilarious.
That's me.
So yeah, is there anything next? Is anything coming in the line in the salad dressing space specifically? Other flavors you have coming down?
Yes. So the ones I feel comfortable, we have a lot coming down the line.
Right.
So
That's all on your vision board.
our thing is salad fixins with a taste of Louisiana. So we have our bacon bits that are actually made from whole mushrooms. That's a project that we are trying to, we have it in Whole Foods locally, but we're trying to get it nationwide. That's a major undertaking because the manufacturing process is so unique and different. That's another problem that we have, is that we have great ideas, but it's complex to make these at scale. It require years of development and machinery, because to make something that's never been done, there's not a co-packer in the world that's going to do it for you. And that's kind of what the bacon bits are. They're very much handmade, small batched, and only in select stores. So we're trying to build that gap. But as far as the dressing goes, the next ones that we're going to do is it's an Evo ranch.
Okay.
It's the first I've ever said this publicly. So an olive oil based ranch, which it's really delicious and healthy and sugar free and vegan, and as well as a buttermilk ranch, like a southern buttermilk ranch.
So that's two separate products, or that's all in one product?
Those are two separate products, and they're going to be using kind of our base, which is that Fabia bean water kind of. I don't like saying bean water; it doesn't sound appealing, but it's a unique, different base of traditional ranches that tastes even better, I think.
Because that is, I guess you're right. You don't currently have that traditional ranch.
We don't. We have it for restaurants, but not for consumers.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. And you were talking about the nutrition analysis earlier. Was that hard? Was that something like hard for you to kind of like go down that path, or like when you first started doing it? Or was it something like finding like what software, or like how did that, I guess you had to, because the food incubator, you're walking through that for labeling, but like, what did that process look like as you were starting to kind of educate yourself about entering recipes, looking at nutrition analysis, and like interpreting the numbers for yourself? It takes
a lot of trial and error. And when I first got started, I didn't even think about it. And then I look back and I see that we have like 300 milligrams of sodium, and that's not going to happen. So there's a great piece of software out there. It's called Recipal, RECIPAL. Essentially, whether you're making cookies at home or you're making, salad dressing or whatever your product is, you can put in your ingredients and see on demand live the ingredients. So if you added, a cup less or a cup more of this and that, or tweak, you could basically tweak for your nutritional desire, right? So if you don't want it to be, high fat or high sugar or high sodium, you can go back and look at that and start taking things out and seeing what's moving the needle. Like, for example, with our Caesar, I didn't realize, our ancient Roman capers had so much sodium in it, which they do. So we had to cut back a little bit on the salt.
Is it free?
Free. I think it's like maybe $20 per recipe.
Okay.
And that's all you pay.
Because there are also like, there's different websites that you can use, like MyFitnessPal has some and stuff like that.
There you go.
We use a software for Eat Fit called Food Care, and it's a platform that we use. But I think anyone listening, like, find if it's Recipal, if it's with ours or Food Care, if you're using the free MyFitnessPal, if you're curious for just what you're making at home on your own, it works really well, to just for your own,
to get an idea.
Just to get an idea. But if you're looking at something that you're like, okay, I have this product that I'm looking at launching this brand, get in there, look at your nutrition facts, see what it is. Because even if it is something that's not to be healthy at all, if it's a cookie, you were saying, you still want to make sure that it's not eye-watering on things, that it's not just like completely through the roof. So getting familiar with that, using that, and then the more you do it, it's really clunky and cumbersome the first time or the first few times. And then kind of once you get the process of it, it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
You've met Judith. She runs our cafe at our fitness center.
I have, yeah.
She is full cafe. I mean, she's a brilliant creator of all these healthy, wholesome dishes that we're selling at Fuel Cafe out of Oshner Fitness Center. And we've worked with her, and she is very familiar now with how to use our recipe analysis. And I'm so proud of her.
What does she use?
she uses our food care system.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's so great because we've had this shift over the past year where instead of me saying, Judith, you've got this new product, like we need the nutrition facts for it so that we can help you put it on the label. She now comes to me and says, hey, can you see if I can make the low carb claim on the label here? She's already done the analysis.
Yeah.
She's interpreted the numbers. And then because also I think what shifted is we now have labels that she's printing with the nutrition facts and putting them on the products. So just like you were saying about you, it's made her immerse a little more
You're
deeply.
more conscious about it.
Yeah. And I'm so proud of her and you. But like just looking at that and kind of being aware, and it helps the consumer so much. Okay. So anything else that you are, that would be helpful for our listeners are people who are just interested in your brand and product anyway, or people who might have their own product that they're looking at bringing to market and launching, or just anything next coming up that you want to share with us?
No, I mean, feel free to reach out. If anyone is starting a product, a lot of people have helped me grow our company. And so any which way I can return the favor, I'm all for it. And have them reach out on our website. As far as nutrition, everything goes, we're in the business of healthy eating. That's what we want to do, and just provide a better resource for that.
Oh, we should say, I've been talking about how much we love these dressings. They're actually, I think all but one is Eat Fit approved.
Right. The mustard, which does have a little bit of sugar, but it can't be called sweet Creole mustard without a little bit of sweetness.
And then I think the pepper jelly.
Pepper jelly. That's the one that we don't have.
Yes. So, but all others are Eat Fit approved. And you guys actually, the labels on them, many of them already have, others are about to have
the Eat Fit badge.
Yes. And so the little Ochsner Eat Fit seal, you turn it over, you look at the back, you'll see it. So we're like really excited for that, to have that rolling out. Like you showed me, I saw the first one today as you came up. So that's really cool. It's just a easy fit for us. And like, we love having partners that have they're like-minded when it comes to wellness, nutrition, and kind of just the work that we do in the community. And you guys are the same. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. It's great to have these kind of resources, like I was saying with, we were talking about earlier with the restaurant, so if there's a small restaurant out there and they don't understand, like, by using better quality products, you can also, these are small brands and they can help promote your company. And, Eat Fit is all about, trying to help promote, healthy, better living as well. And they could help try to promote the restaurant. So now it's like you have a village of people helping out everyone else. And it's a great ecosystem. I'm very lucky to be a part of it and happy to be a part of it.
I love it. So I'm so grateful for you sharing the time with us today. And I'll include in the show notes of this episode, we'll include the link to Hanley's. And if someone does want to reach out, they have either questions about something they're starting their own brand, or questions about the product specifically, or like we're talking about these restaurants, I think every restaurant should have it. What's the best way for someone to contact you?
Yeah, just go to our website, hanleysfoods.com. My wife and I, Kate, read every email that goes through. So just send us an email. And if you have a food company, if you just want to talk. I got an email it was 2 days ago. Someone had a salad dressing idea, and they wanted to see if I wanted to buy it. And it was a long shot, and I was like, hey, look, that's great. I appreciate it. Love to help you out any which way I can. And it was a great dialogue that we had. At the end of the day, I did not buy her salad dressing recipe, but we had a good, fun conversation. So feel free to reach out. We're very active online.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rich.
Thanks, Molly.
So a tremendous thank you again to Rich for taking the time, spending the time with us to share his insight, to share his experiences. As always, I'll include the links that we talked about in the show notes of this episode. And I am registered dietitian Molly Kimball, and you've been listening to Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, the podcast. If you would like more Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, please head over to mollykimball.com, and you can follow me, Molly Kimball RD, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you haven't yet, please go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. Join us next week for another dose of Fueled Wellness and Nutrition. Thanks for listening, and stay focused on living your strongest, healthiest life.